What's up, guys? So apparently people said I made up the news about Roczen riding a 250. Yet lo and behold, it's happening. I got some information on that. I've got a gas Pierer Group update. I got an update on Ducati and their program coming in. That's the one thing about this week is kind of people plan on kind of figuring some stuff out. That's what I love about this 2-week break right now. It's at the perfect time where all these teams are trying to figure out, you know, it's close enough to next year, but it's far enough out they can still make adjustments. People are still trying to make sure they have rides, find rides, who's going where, what sponsors moving. But I'm going to update you on as much of that as I have right now. Thank you so much to all the members. It's $2.99, and that just makes you a member. I will give you some content before other people, interviews and some other stuff. And I'm also going to randomly grab a member for every show and just promote your channel at the end. And I'm also going to do some giveaways and some lives that are just for members. Anyway, thanks to everybody. I appreciate the subscriptions and I really appreciate the members. So let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
Hey, before we get into it, check out the Coach Rob podcast. He does some good stuff over there. Epic garage designs, best garage stuff in the business. Ride strapped for your patriotic goggles. And precision transport. If you're shipping anything using a truck, use precision. Pretransport.com. So it's funny how in this industry, there's this media conglomerate, and I've broke it down 100 times how Davey Coombs owns the series, which he also owns Racer X, and he also has Vital and all these other people that play along under his thumb. I'm not one of them. So I tell you guys the information that I get. I research it. I talk to people involved, yet there's still this narrative out there that I make stuff up or I spread false information. Was I wrong when I said Butler Brothers was going to close the Rocky Mountain team? Was I wrong about the Rich Taylor lawsuit? Was I wrong when I said Sexton was going to KTM long before anyone else? Was I wrong about the Deegan bike claim incident? Was I wrong that Rocky Mountain KTM never paid Blake Baggett? Or at least they settled for a way smaller amount? Was I wrong as an amateur when I said Deegan was leaving KTM to Yamaha? Was I wrong about breaking down the Enzo Lopes, how he left under contract with Club MX? I got the accurate information about why Glenn Helen doesn't have a national. I told you guys about Ricky backstabbing Daniel Blair and getting him out of the booth. These are all things that I have confirmed the stories. I don't go with this stuff unless I have talked to the principals involved and have really, really good sources. Do I get every detail right? No. And sometimes that's on purpose. In some of these lawsuit ones, I changed dates on races and tracks. And I also do that to protect my sources because that's how I get information. And if I give specific detailed information for dates and times, sometimes it blows those people out. So I have to protect them. But I will get you the important facts, the facts that Rich Taylor and Zach Taylor, son of Rich Taylor, sued LACR because he went over a berm and got hurt. That's really the only facts you needed in that one. Denny Stevenson, I love his opinions. He has some really good stuff and some interesting analysis. I was a little annoyed when he essentially called me a liar for saying that Ken Roczen was going to a 250. I'm like, Denny, come on, man. You know I haven't done this. How many times do I come out with information like this if I don't have a legitimate source? And I told you guys, that's the plan. The plan is on a 250 at the final round. Will Ken actually do it? Who knows? But that is the plan, and that's what I shared with you guys. And I see Racer X jumped on board today after they saw mine, and then they posted it. It's kind of annoying that I have to wait to get confirmed, and people at this point, with my track record so far, I would think people would believe me by now. I don't just put it out off of one source. I get it, and then I double check it, and I have enough contacts. But I don't share my sources, and I'm not going to share my sources because that's how I get the information. And Chase Marquier, come on, man. Listen, we're not good friends, but I know you. And I was disappointed that you jumped on board with Denny and started trashing me over this Ken Roczen thing. Come on, Chase. Seriously? You know, your half-hearted apology when Denny, hey, I will give Denny Stevenson credit. He came out and did a post and apologized. Hats off. Good to you. That's all you can ask for. But maybe in the future, guys, just trust that I have some serious information and I don't make stuff up. That's it. And since it's an off week, I got some more information. And this is not all rock solid. This has to do with the KTM, Gas, Husqvarna, Pierer Group. So they are going through some sort of crazy structural redo. And this happens when you get these big corporations that buy up multiple brands. I've seen it firsthand when I worked for Tucker Power Sports, when they start buying other brands and then they bring in these CEOs that they don't know their ass from a hole in the wall. And they start making decisions when they don't really know, because they're going to come in and they're going to put their stamp on it and they're going to tell you what it needs to be. So they're shuffling everything around. Originally, Gas was going away. Now it looks like Husqvarna is the brand they're pointing at that will become a hobby brand, and they're not going to have a race team. And that also left us with a big question, because Gas is leaving the TLD team for 2025. But Ryder DeFrancesco and Justin Barcia are both under contract. What happens to them? They're going in-house. They will go in-house for Gas for 2025. Ryder DeFrancesco will be wearing fly gear in-house, and Justin Barcia will remain with TLD gear. The TLD team has gone big with Ducati. This is going to be a monster team. And any of these 450 riders that don't have a contract in 2026, they're already pining to be a part of this. They are going to have some big name riders on there. The rumored names were Roczen, which that's not going to happen because there's no chance that he'll ever leave the Red Bull deal, especially this close to the end of his career. And this team is 100% going to be a Monster Energy-backed team. Jason Anderson, he's also been floated out there. He's also been floated out there with Triumph on their 450. Ducati has a lot more money, and if they decide they want Anderson, they will get Anderson. And then another name that's been linked to this team, and it's not necessarily to be a rider, but for his testing abilities, is Christian Craig. He is so well-liked. Everyone around that team likes him. They know this guy knows how to test bikes and develop bikes. And that is going to be crucial for this new team in Ducati. They need someone who can get in there and get these bikes working where they need them. And they're coming in with a serious effort. These bikes are going to retail at a very high dollar. And they're going to be almost race ready for the highest factory level guys. Like, you're going to almost be able to go buy the same thing that these guys are riding. But they won't be cheap. But that's what Ducati is. They're a premier brand. They're a Ferrari. They're a Lamborghini. That's the type of motorcycle brand they are. And they're trying to bring that to motocross. And I don't think they really care too much about price tags. They just want the best, baddest equipment. Christian Craig has also been linked to Club MX. I think that's also a really good fit for him. He could go over there, continue his career. I don't know how well his results would be, but I would like to see him on a Yamaha, and I think he could probably add something to those younger guys because he's got a really good attitude. I don't see him going south like some of the other guys I've talked about that are the veterans with bad attitudes. I think Christian Craig would understand that he's brought in there to be a bit of a mentor, to teach these guys how to test bikes, and to really help take them to the next level. So if he goes to Club MX, I wouldn't expect a results-driven contract. I would expect a mentoring type contract that he gets. Now, Hep Suzuki, this is an interesting one. They are absolutely contracted with Suzuki for next year, and Roczen is not contracted with Suzuki or Hep for next year. I believe it was an understanding that he was going to continue, but I don't think it's not a done deal. And get this, and I don't know if there's truth to this, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate. He said he will not sign with them for next year unless he gets electric start. I was like, wait, no, isn't his whole brand Kickstart? No, he wants electric start. And he said, if you can't give me electric start, he's going to go somewhere else. And there's a couple other teams that are kind of courting him. So hang tight. We'll see how that plays out. And if Ken Roczen gets his electric start Suzuki or he folds and stays Kickstart, I don't know. But Ken is always fun in the off season. And he's one of those guys, like I said, until it's done, wait until he actually announces that he signed the contract and joined the team. And I'll be covering Loretta's all this week. I'm going to be watching it, doing some videos and talking about it. And one of the guys that I did talk about in the previews was Aiden Kiefer. I really like this kid. He's a great kid, and he's got a big future. Unfortunately, he re-broke a collarbone that he had broke when he was qualifying. He will not be racing at Loretta Lynn. So unfortunately, get well soon, Aiden Kiefer. That's a good kid with a bright future, whether it be racing, testing, or whatever he does. They have made themselves a good kid right there. All right, guys, that's it for today. Remember, subscribe. Join those memberships if you want. And then here is today's channel that you might want to go check out.